And it is something you mentioned in terms of equipment and what people don't realize. And it's great to have athletes like you come on, but remembering you only started in 2019 and
Mm.
people say that running is a free sport. And then you start running and you realize how expensive it is. Then you add in swimming and cycling and you realize probably how important the club is to get you up and running, to beg, borrow, and steal just to get you towards your first race. You obviously had your mom who's gonna throw
Mm.
kit and equipment at you, even if it fits or doesn't fit. It's all about just participating for your first couple, just to try it out. Isn't that important?
Yeah, you can get things secondhand pretty easily on adverts and the rest, but then you always want the next best thing and what's the next new bike? And all of a sudden you have a 10 grand bike and a 5 grand car, so it doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, it does.
What was that point, Ashling, where you decided the bike needed to be worth more than the car? Was there a race that came up that you felt like you did well in, or was there a moment when you were at the Tri Club was like, I'm going to be here a while now. I'm going to start building up my races. Was there a particular point there?
Well, I guess you can get away with blaming the legs for a certain amount of time, and then you start to blame your equipment. And then when you can't blame your equipment anymore, you have to go back to blaming the legs. So kind of
Eric blames the watch then, and he needs a dearer watch as well. I've heard this conversation before.
We are a cut from the same cloth. It's always the equipment. Actually, it's always the equipment.
Uh, I guess like I said, I joined in 2019. I got myself, so Nace Triathlon, they actually have a high performance team where they select 6 members of the club and they give specialized training plans to them. So I got matched up with Coach Barry Smith in the training club. And so I've been paired with him for the past 2 years. I kind of had a breakthrough race in 2022 where I got my first overall podium. And from then, 2023 and obviously 2024 has been just a dream year. But just getting that coaching and I guess specific training behind you, you kind of then want to go on and get the fancy bike and the fancy fast shoes and see where you can go and just you want to get to the start line and not be able to blame anything. Other than so yes,
But
I guess.
obviously, to get onto high performance, to be working with the likes of Barry and Connor, who are involved in ACE, and both excellent athletes in their own right, and fantastic coaches with a lot of experience. You obviously had to show a lot of potential. Did
Mm-hmm.
triathlon come easy to you? Was there a part of you, for example, myself and Sean, we could drown, we could swim, we could float, we could sink. On any given swim day, we could have a good day or a bad day. But what was it like for you? Was there any element that really scared you about it getting into it, or did it just come natural to you?
So growing up, my just by way of background, my dad was a jockey. My mum had always done sport. My brother owns his own gym, so we were always kind of a sporty family. I wouldn't say I was overly special in anything, but I certainly did have that background. I swam when I was young. I did community games and the rest. But again, I was the one showing up to the running races, and they'd be picking up the cones after me. So I wasn't talented by any means, but when I got into it and the more, again, with my coach, I just put in the hours and put in the work. But no, I didn't come from, I wouldn't say I was particularly talented. I was just disciplined and committed and passionate about the sport, I guess. And we all have the same 24 hours a day. I maybe just dedicated a little bit more than some, and thankfully that has paid off.
I'm looking here, Ashling. I'm trying to do the maths with when stuff reopened after COVID and stuff like that. Was Ironman Cork, was that your first Ironman?
Yeah, so that was my first half distance in 2022. So that was an amazing day actually. I ended up winning my age group and I think I was fifth overall. I just enjoyed the whole thing. I wasn't going for any particular time. I was just seeing what it was like and just challenging myself and I just fell in love. And then 2 weeks later was a very famous race in Kerry. It's the Lost Sheep
The
race.
lost sheep, yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah. I was
It's
like, okay.
arguably, in fairness to it, and it is ranked. I think it's like in the top five, and it's not the full half distance, but it's ranked as like one of the most difficult in Europe.
Really, that's super. Well, I
Yeah.
actually I don't agree. The elevation is crazy. It nearly killed me this year doing it. God, that was a hard day.